Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks just had the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. They were down 29 points to the San Antonio Spurs. 29 points. I can't believe that I watched that game. I cannot believe I watched the San Antonio Spurs throw away a 29-point lead in the finals. I can't believe I watched the Knicks come back from that. If there was any team that was going to do it, it was going to be this Knicks team. This Knicks team that practically refuses to lose, okay? It's just not something they do, all right? And wow. Just wow, man. There is a lot to talk about with that game. And I'm sitting there during the first half. I'm watching this. I'm like, this might be one of the worst games of basketball I've ever seen, okay? There was fouls every 5 seconds. The referees did about 15,000 reviews in the first half of the game. It was stop, start. Cat was in foul trouble. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, but it somehow became one of the greatest games I've ever seen. It became one of the greatest games I've ever seen. The second half of that game is just, I seriously, I can't believe the Knicks came back from being down 29 points to win this game. The Spurs completely threw it away, bro. The Spurs threw it away. Like, man, what a... Let's look at the stats here, bro. Look at the stats here, man. Victor Wembanyama was 9 for 25. Stephon Castle, 2 for 7. De'Aaron Fox was one of the worst plays in basketball history. De'Aaron Fox gets a loose ball with 12 seconds to go. And instead of, doing what literally any other player would have done, which is, play keep away, force the Knicks to foul him, send him to the free throw line. It was a 1-point game. If he did those things, if he played keep away and forced the Knicks to foul him, he could have made it a 3-point game. And then the Knicks would have had to hit a 3 to not even to win the game, to tie the game and send it to overtime. This guy decides, while being, right, OG Anunoby's right with him, he decides to go up for a layup, and he got blocked. De'Aaron Fox, this was probably his best game of the series. Hold up. This was probably his best game of the series prior to that block, which was absolutely, like, what an insane thing to do. He had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a block. He shot 6 for 16 from the field. He shot 4 of 9 from three-point range. That was like, if the Spurs won this game and De'Aaron Fox didn't go up for a layup, we'd be saying, hey, De'Aaron Fox finally had a good game in the finals, because every one of his other games prior to, last night, pretty trash in the finals. The brother's been shooting like 12%. But no one will remember how many points De'Aaron Fox had or assists, or the fact he had 2 steals. They're going to remember the fact the Spurs blew a 29-point lead, and this guy, up 1, did not play keep away with 12 seconds to go. He didn't force the Knicks to foul him. He went up for a contested layup and got blocked. And then Jalen Brunson gets the ball, shoots it, misses. No one guards Anunoby. He gets right there and tips the ball in for one of the just craziest sequences at the end of a game I've ever seen. Like, wow, man, the Spurs really threw away a 29-point lead, bro. A 29-point lead. And they were just, their offense was not, the Knicks were playing good defense. The Spurs offense was terrible, though. All right, they took, I think, what was it? Ernie Johnson on the post-game show was like, he said they took 20 shots in the third quarter, and 12 of them were threes, and they went 2 for 12 from 3 in that quarter, so they missed 10 three-pointers. I mean, Julian Champagnie alone missed 6. I don't know if it was all in the third quarter, but man, wow. Like, man, has anyone... I feel like no one was even efficient from 3 either. Wembanyama was 2 for 8. Castle, he was 1 for 3. Fox, okay, 4 for 9. Harper, 3 for 6. The other guys, again, Julian Champagnie, 1 for 6. The bench didn't really provide for San Antonio other than Dylan Harper, who had a pretty good game. He had 21 points. He shot 8 for 12. He was a plus 12 while on the floor. But Charles Barkley said when a team blows a lead like that, they help the other team get back into it. All right, and the Spurs definitely helped the Knicks get back into this in the sense of these guys. The Spurs offense was kind of bad. They weren't hitting any shots. They took like 8 threes in a row. They didn't make any of them. And there's a fly in here. Took like 8 threes in a row. Didn't hit any of them. Once you miss like 4 threes in a row, honestly, why are you still shooting them? You know what I'm saying? Like, go for something else. They were up 29 points and threw it away because they were just shot chucking from threes, all right? That's exactly how the Boston Celtics lost this fly. That's exactly how the Boston Celtics lost Game 7 against Philly in the first round. Boston just kept chucking up trash from 3, thinking eventually it might go in, and it never went in. And that's what happened here, bro. That's what happened here. Karl Anthony Towns got 2 fouls called on him in the first 50 seconds of this basketball game. The first 50 seconds. All right, he finished the game with he had 13 points, 10 rebounds, but this brother was he played 70 seconds total in the entire first quarter, bro. And that definitely hurt the Knicks. Obviously they went down 29 points, but Brunson and Cat honestly played almost no time on the floor together until the second half. And Mike Brown was going through, he was going through his center rotation like crazy, man. He played 4 different people at center in the first quarter. He played Cat, he played Mitchell Robinson, he played Ariel Hukporti. This brother had Jeremy Sohan in the game, all right? You know what I'm saying? Knicks probably played 12 guys, 13 guys, 14 guys, however many. They practically played almost everybody but Tyler Kolek, But one person that got quite a bit of playing time in this game was Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado, in the second half, was put next to Jalen Brunson, and it was fantastic. Jose Alvarado's stats, they don't jump off of the sheet. 8 points, 2 rebounds. 13, 3 assists. Brother was a plus 11 while on the floor in 15 minutes. His presence was a positive. His presence next to Jalen Brunson on the floor was a positive. All right, he was a game changer. And OG Anunoby, we'll get to him in a second. Jose Alvarado, when the Knicks, they traded for him. I don't even know who they gave up for him, honestly. But they traded for Ariel. I'm all over the place. They traded for Jose Alvarado. I'm like, this is a great trade for the Knicks. Jose Alvarado in the playoffs, he's going to come in and he's going to impact a big game, right? That was my thought. I thought the trade was fantastic because Jose Alvarado is that type of player. But I didn't think it was going to be in the finals. I thought Jose Alvarado might, have a real good game in the first round, second round. He's having a fantastic impact in the NBA Finals. Game 4, Jose Alvarado comes in, and it helps the Knicks flip the script. Then you got Jalen Brunson. 36 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. This brother played fantastic. Jalen Brunson played fantastic. There's nothing much you can really say about it. This is this is a Jalen Brunson playoff performance. Oh, he had a Jalen Brunson playoff performance, and he did it. It helped lead this comeback. He helped lead this comeback, but he couldn't do it all by himself because no one would be able to. All right, which is where OG Anunoby comes into play. OG Anunoby, who genuinely might win Finals MVP. He's been so good. He's been just as good as Brunson has, and maybe even a little bit better in the playoffs, or in the finals, I should say. OG Anunoby, 33 points. He shot 10 for 15. He went 7 for 9 from three-point range. 7 for 9. I didn't even know that. And I wrote this. 7 for 9. This guy This guy, OG Anunoby, it felt like he couldn't miss. And we know OG Anunoby. He's a fantastic defender. He's affecting things on the defensive end. And offensively, he was a superstar. He was a superstar last night. To me, OG Anunoby is the best non-all-star in the NBA. This guy's never been an all-star to my knowledge, or at least maybe one time a few years ago. I don't know. But since he's been in New York, he ain't been an all-star. To me, he's the best non-all-star in the NBA. All right? And last night, he played like a superstar. 33 points. He had a steal. He had a block. He had some rebounds. And, again, last 12 seconds of the game, that was OG Anunoby making the two biggest plays of the game. The block on De'Aaron Fox, followed up by the game-winning tip-in. OG Anunoby refused to lose last night. He refused to lose. It was one of the greatest games I've ever seen, to be honest. And now the New York Knicks hold a 3-1 lead. It's Fly getting in my camera shot. The Knicks hold a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. They're going back to San Antonio. And, man, they might just blow out the Spurs in Game 5, man. Seriously, like, the Spurs, honestly, they choked Game 2, right? Because, we don't know what would have happened if Wembanyama didn't turn the ball over with like 7 seconds to go and then send Jalen Brunson to the free throw line. All right. So they kind of choked Game 2. Game 1 was really close. And Game 4, up 29, and they lost. The biggest choke job in NBA Finals history. 29 points. 29 points they led by, and they lost. And now you have to play another game. They're tired. They're hurt. They keep choking games. And now they're going to go to San Antonio. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if the Knicks blew them out of the water in San Antonio. I really wouldn't be surprised. Because, man, that has got to be so deflating. So many deflating moments for this Spurs team in the finals. You lose a close Game 1. You choke a close Game 2. Then you barely get the win in Game 3. In Game 4, you're up 29, and you lost. You lost. Wow. Wow, man. They got to be just so tired and so deflated. But we'll see what happens in San Antonio.